There are many signs of suicide. People almost always will give some signs of suicide. There are certain things, sudden erratic changes in behaviour. Often people take more like risk-taking behaviour, but also when people say things like, people would be better off without me. And those certain words that people say, which really are kind of like a red flag, that something's wrong, and that those real feelings of worthlessness of, most people that die by suicide, almost everyone, they don't actually want to die. It's just at that point in time that feels like the only way out of the emotional pain that they're in. And when I describe it to people, I will say to people, imagine you're in the most physical pain that you could possibly be in, but you can't take a painkiller. And that's what it feels like to someone who's suicidal, that there's no other way out of the pain. But it's not actually normally that they actually want to die. It's interesting because in terms of mental illness, women suffer from mental illness more than men. From depression and anxiety, but 3 times as many men die by suicide as women. And the reasons for that, again, there's no statistics to show, evidence for it, but I think that men, and specifically young men, to actually seek help. Men don't tend to seek help. They don't have the same social support networks as women have. They don't talk about their emotions and their feelings. But suicide in 18 to 45-year-olds is now the biggest cause of death in young men. And I think, that it's interesting to see, as you track through time, the history of suicide rates and how they've changed over time, but they are increasing. And in Australia last year, there was 500 more deaths by suicide last year than there was in the previous year. People accessing help and accessing support, and had Adam access support early on, I think that would have made a huge difference. Because it was so internalised, and like you said, and what we know even about mental health and mental illness is that the earlier you seek help, the far better the outcome. It's no different to me breaking my ankle and going to the physio and the doctor straight away and putting rest ice compression elevation on. I am going to recover better. And it's exactly the same with any sort of trauma, in terms of allowing someone the freedom to speak and feel safe and supported in their grief. And because as a child you don't have the emotional maturity to even know what grief is, or to process it, or to navigate it, or to, and I think I could see that spiral of internal emotions, that the more they were kept within, and the more, he might try to put a little bit out here, but the more it built and built and built and built, and he became iller and iller and iller. And what we know is that once someone's severely ill, it's so hard to get them back. It's so hard, and you need so much help, so much support, and and the outcome is not as good.
And do you think it would be better now? I mean, you don't really live in England.
Yeah, I think that the support services and the realisation that what people need in grief and trauma and children is much better now in schools than it was, definitely. And some of the things that friends come to me with their kids and say that they're learning about emotional, it's like, wow, that's amazing, and giving emotions colour and stuff. So say, I feel red today, I feel, and interestingly in the fire brigade now, they're starting to develop ways for men to identify their emotions and say, give them colours, because rather than saying, because they don't know how to express it. So, you can go, I'm in the red today, orange, I'm feeling a bit dodgy, green, I'm good. And it's simple, but, we're teaching adults to do that, and it works. It works. So, and to teach kids to do that is so powerful as a way to make it okay, and to talk about your emotions when you can't. I remember always being, say, but what do you think, Tara? What do you feel? And I was like, what? I don't know. And I think if you can start doing that when you're a kid, to go, okay, that's actually sadness. Oh, that's anger. That's, it is so powerful in being able to express that, and like you said, bring those two worlds in line with each other, between the external and the internal world. And that ultimately creates mental health.